Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see here. I am should be live, but let's find out. Are we? I'm testing some new equipment right now, so I don't know how well this is going. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. Hey, Rachel, how's it going? Can you hear and see me okay? Testing some new equipment today. And I'm eating a banana. Oh, great. How you doing? FYI, I've left the company and I'm onwards to a greater, much more fun adventure. I just can't wait. Mm. How you been? What's life like in the world for you? It was time. No disrespect to any of the fine people there, but I felt as if I'd hit a plateau and I wasn't going to go anywhere else. So it was just time. More power to everybody that still works there. Wish them nothing but the best, but it is what it is. How's my picture quality, by the way? This is a brand new camera and a brand new setup. Make sure you get your 5-year gift before you leave. I got a really badass Xbox controller, and that saved me a bunch of money. Oh, cool. What'd you get? Life is grand. I mean, we woke up above ground today, so fuck it. I'll take that as a win. Oh, has everybody met Albus? This is my super lazy cat, Albus. My wife found him in a parking lot when he was a kitten. Oh, open houses. Gosh, I miss those. Those were a lot of fun. And, just enjoy them while you can. Because before you know it, you have a 23-year-old grown kid saying, "Can I have some money?" So, I mean, take everything. I know that when you have a young one, it can really be traumatic at times and really be just pulling your hair out. God, what am I doing? But after a certain amount of time, it's just like, you know what? Everything's going to be okay. That's great. How old is Munchkin now? 4. Oh my goodness. Yeah. The journey is just beginning. And I know it feels like you have this huge amount of time left, but honestly, you don't. My son, it feels like he was 4 just the other day. And now he's a grown ass man with grown ass man wants and needs and stuff like that. So, I mean, you just got to just enjoy every single bit of it. It's so hard not to, and it's so hard to and it's so easy to get caught up in the, oh, I can't do this because I got a kid. Nah, man, enjoy every freaking part of that, every freaking part of that every day. And as they get older, yeah, they're going to throw more problems and stuff your way, but truth be told, I wouldn't be the man I am today if it wasn't for the fact that I had a kid. In a way, I feel like we raised each other. There is no way in the world that I would have learned how to do half the things I know how to do, how to balance my life the way I've been able to balance my life, and just get shit done the way I'd have if it wasn't for him. Because really, in all actuality, I think it's just part of like the cycle of life. You get old enough to make one yourself, and then boom, you've the kid and that responsibility takes you to the next level. So, you know what? Enjoy every minute of it. Every minute of it is an absolute blessing. Don't sleep it away like some parents do and think it's just this burden. It's not. It's just something to cherish every day. I remember one of my kids' first open houses, and sat down with the teacher, and the teacher just, had nothing but great things to say about him. My kid's just a super likable guy. And she goes, Does does he always joke about farts? Oh man, I took the news about Ozzy passing hard, dude. I'm Generation X. Fortunately enough, I was able to see Ozzy kind of in his prime in the '90s. I got to see him twice, and he still had his energy. It was before the Parkinson's. It was before a lot of the things that, as you guys just tell, I'm a metalhead. Okay, it was before the Parkinson's kind of took its toll on him, and dude put on a 2 hour show, and Ozzy was kind of the soundtrack to my life. There were times to where I'd get myself pumped up for a job interview by, you know, blasting an Ozzy song, or get myself, amped up to do something, or listen to some of his slower songs, some of his ballads when I needed to process something. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we all have the human condition, and we're all going to go away one day. But man, what a life! What a life! And I say this, about anybody. I mean, that's just a life well lived. When you pass away, and you don't want everybody sad and upset. You want people to go, dude, what a life. Man, that guy, he got in there. He was creative. He made things. He did things. What a fucking legend. And I mean, that, you know, Ozzy, buddy, this Diet Coke is for you. Now, the one thing about both the Ozzy concerts I went to, that guy sure liked to moon the crowd. That was one, well, that was one thing. I swear, in the 2 hour concert, he must have mooned the crowd 75 times. No, no, no kidding. Like literally every time, like Zach Wild would be there, and he'd start like some just some sick riff, like dun dun dun, and all of a sudden Ozzy's ass, boop, on display. And of course, the guys with the cameras there for the jumbotron would make sure that that booty was 60 feet wide on the jumbotron. But yeah, no, I'm sad Ozzy passed. Uh, it's clear he left himself a legacy. He really did. He really did. I mean, if it wasn't for Black Sabbath, and it wasn't for also for the way that Black Sabbath, how he got fired from Black Sabbath, and Ronnie James Dio came in, and he took, there was Ozzy. Ozzy really started it. Then Dio came in and kind of fine tuned some things, and really, it's all just amazing. One thing I always found funny, I thought, Ozzy's voice, the Sharon, was always just kind of like something that happened to him because of drug and alcohol abuse. Could not be farther from the point. I lived in England for a while, and I remember going to Birmingham, England, where he's from, and walking into a store to buy a pack of smokes. And literally, the guy behind the counter was like, pack of Marlboros. And he was out of them. And he literally shouted towards the guy in back. He was like, Mark, give me some Marlboros. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it's more of a regional dialect type of thing. So I get it. Some of the clips that are circulating online now are pretty funny. The one of Ozzy trying to find the cat in his backyard. That one will should live on for infamy. If you get a chance, do a YouTube search for Ozzy trying to find his cat. That one will, because he's not much older than me in that clip. That's back when the Osbournes was a thing, and you can tell he's just this dad who has had enough. He just wants to get the cat, get back in the house, and he's like, "Sharon, we got to get the cat. The kids, they've all fucked off, and now it's up to me to get the cat. Sharon." I mean, the look of frustration in his face. Every dad knows that look of frustration. Every dad has been there. What other type of music you into, Theo? What are some of the newer bands that you think have taken the heavy metal flag and just ran with it? I didn't think I'd like them because at first, I saw the pictures and all the rest of that. Slipknot was one that I thought did an amazing job, and of course, Slayer. Megadeth, not so much. They had a few good songs and a few good riffs. Metallica, of course, but they did kind of turn into a bit of stadium rock. And as much as I love Metallica, uh, they came into town not that long ago, and I was like, "Ooh, sweet! This will make a fun date night with the wife, right?" We're the same age. We both, were kids when Justice for All came out and Ride the Lightning came out. So, this could be fun, right? $475 for a ticket. I'm sorry. I may be doing well right now, but there is no way in the fucking world I am paying $475 for a ticket. Even Slayer, when they do their reunions, does not charge that. I'm sorry. I'm all for yeah, dude. There's no way. So if you think about it, $475 for ticket, that's what, $950, right? Then you got to figure in parking, a meal while you're out, possibly something from the merch table. I mean, you can't go to a Metallica shirt or a Slayer show without picking up a T-shirt. Am I right? That evening out, that date alone would have cost me like $1,200. So, sorry, no, thank you. I will continue to enjoy Metallica, but I will continue to enjoy them from afar. I don't think I'm going to pay that much money, especially to also if it were like a smaller venue, the Prodigy, of course, dude. Yeah, dude, I lived in England for a long time. I got to see them at the Brixton Amphitheater, back before Keith sadly decided to, what's the term I'm looking for, unalive himself. Man, they put on a show. The woman I was with at the time was really big into, that type of music, and I didn't think, it would really do it for me. But man, once they got in there and they started, playing Firestarter and stuff like that, the Oasis reunion was always going to happen. At the end of the day, those brothers may hate each other's guts. Okay. And I believe there's legit beef there. However, come on. There was so much money in there. At a certain point, uh, I would stand on stage and sing songs of my worst enemy for $100 million. Yeah, they're making great money, probably having a wonderful time. Oh, absolutely. Oh, come here, buddy. Oh, I know I just woke him up, but he'll find a way to be back asleep in 20 minutes. This is Albus, and Albus is not feeling very sociable, but kind of a cute story. My wife found him in a parking lot when he was just a kitten. She thinks he was an abandoned cat, and he's just a big old fluffy old sweetheart now. He's about 10 years old, and he's at that point to where he sleeps probably 3/4 of the day, but it doesn't matter. You know, I got memories of him when he was a youngin, and up to all sorts of serious silliness. He's a good one. I mean, I notice everybody knows the cats, but does anybody notice the face hugger? Yeah, no, I mean, I'm happy for Oasis that they got back together, and family is always family, and it sucks when there's a legit family beef. The Sopranos, yeah, dude, that was honestly, it's going to be in my top 5 favorite shows of all time. I mean, aside from the ending at first took a while to grow to like, but once you saw how they were actually setting it up for a long time, then it actually made perfect sense. I mean, Tony getting whacked at the end. Where's the gabagoo? Yeah. And man, those guys were always eating. It's like, I thought I had a problem because I, I love to eat. Those guys were always eating. And, I guess in that culture, it's cool to be fat and always eating. And, also with that culture too, let's face it, Tony was always hooking it up with some really, really hot looking woman too. And, he wouldn't have done that if he wasn't a rich gangster. But what I think is interesting, and now all these years after his death, went way too soon. Life is a blessing. But James Gandolfini, I've heard several stories about him, and apparently he was just a real, real good dude, just like an absolute sweetheart, and shows you what an amazingly talented actor that he was to just be, that much of a sweetheart off screen and be this ruthless, killer mob boss on screen, and it's just I find it amazing. you know? And some of the scenes were so sad, like when Christopher Maltasanti's girlfriend Andrea got whacked. I mean, I understood why she got whacked. Don't get me wrong, but that part, that one actually made me tear up a little bit because you could tell that she loved Christopher. Ooh, ooh. Speaking of TV, has anybody seen the new Dexter? You're at work at 1 a.m. Encouraging words. Yeah, dude, it gets better. I'm 47 years old and I live a comfortable life right now. But god dang it, I put my time in the trenches. I would go if the boss said overtime, yo, I'll take it, and did everything I could. And now I've got a smoking hot wife, a nice house in the suburbs. I was able to raise my son. It gets better. I know it's tiring to put in those type of hours, man. That's just all part of the plan. Okay, work hard now so you can rest hard and live the lifestyle you want to later. Okay, you know, and especially, are you working overtime? Because that was always my favorite thing. See, you budget yourself on your 40 hours a week. Okay, your OT, that's your fun money. That's the stuff you save up and get life experience with. That's the stuff you save up and take that trip to Vegas, take your girl out to do something fun, you know, buy that shirt you were looking at, but it was just a little bit too expensive. If you're pushing yourself hard, working till 1 o'clock in the morning, getting OT, damn it, dude, you deserve it. Of course, man. Oh, hi, Spitfire. Thanks for hopping on. Nice to see you. I'm glad we're having a little bit of fun on this lunch break live. I used to do these every day, but I've since switched positions at work. So, what up, David? You. Oh, hell yeah. Hey, sometimes you got to burn the midnight oil. That's just, all part of it too. Even if you're just doing that, it's going to give you great stories. And when, you see, your kids or your friends, you know, struggling to do it, be like, hey, man, I've been there. But I'm glad I did it. I burnt the midnight oil. I got my project done, and it was really satisfying. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Theo. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I just, I started my channel as kind of like a father son project with my son. And am I a biker? No. I've always been a fan of motorcycles, but dude, I just don't have the coordination to do it. My sense of balance sucks. I had an inner ear injury when I was younger. And so a lot of a lot of things in the natural sense of balance that a lot of people would need in order to do it safely and not hurt themselves or God forbid somebody else on the road. I just don't have it in me. But that doesn't mean I can't look back from afar and be like, dude, that is a dope bike. And and I've done it before. I've walked up to like an actual Hell's Angel and been like, man, mad respect. That is one hell of a bike. And ended up having a great conversation. That's one thing I always found interesting about bikers is people get so scared of them, but you walk up with respect and learn how to gauge your audience. Obviously, there's the ones that are standing there that don't want to talk to anybody, but yeah, you just walk by, show respect. Like, man, that is a beautiful bike. I always wish I was able to ride one of those, but just for health reasons, I can't. But man, that's great. Usually they'll tell you the story behind their bike. The first time I did that, the Hell's Angel, he was a really nice guy. He, told me that it was his father's bike, who was the club president of where he was at. And it came to him, and he was the vice president of the club he was at. It was awesome. Kansas City style barbecue. See, originally I come from Texas, and there's a couple things in Texas that they take very, very seriously. Number one is football. Number two is barbecue. Okay. Texas barbecue is all about the woods and the way you smoke it. KC barbecue, it's more higher quality meats and sauce oriented. Like, I'll go to some of these KC barbecue places and they will have just this plethora of different sauces, one for, any type of palate. I did a video on one. You should be able to find it in my playlist. It's called Jack Stacks in Kansas City. And I got to admit, I've eaten barbecue all over the United States. I've been very fortunate enough to do a lot of traveling. I will easily put that in my top three. The brisket melted in my mouth. The ribs, no chewing required. It was just, you know, not to sound rude or anything like that, but it was practically a sexual experience on a plate because everybody at the table is just sitting there going, "Oh, oh God, oh," and even the dessert. So if you ever get through Kansas City, you have to check out Jack Stack's Barbecue. Also, the prices really aren't that bad. I will say, coming from Texas, barbecue prices were pretty high, a lot more affordable here. And it's one of the reasons I moved to the Midwest. You know, don't get me wrong, I love Texas. A big part of my heart is always going to be in Texas. However, it just got unaffordable. And, for half of what I was paying to live in Texas, I live in a nice house, have two cars, five cats, and a son in college. Yeah, California barbecue is something different, isn't it? Hey, Justin, thanks for hopping on, man. Appreciate you. California, man, I never go political on my channel ever because you always go, you go to so many different places. This is all I'm going to say about California. Hey, you too, Squid. Hope to see you again, pal. I hope everything works out for California. I really do. I've been to California many times. I've met some just amazing people there, people who I'm still in touch with 10 years later. And I know they're suffering, and I know, they're afraid to go out and do things and stuff like that. It's just California is definitely in my prayers, and I hope that things get better. I really, really do. Good people out there, and there's a reason why California is, basically like the creative center of the United States, or let alone the world. We got Silicon Valley there, Hollywood, and all the rest of that other stuff because it's a beautiful place, and for years and years and years it was affordable, and people could go there and pursue their creative dream. Read an interesting thing the other day. There's a guy, a software engineer, who works at Facebook or Meta or whatever the fuck they're called these days. And oh, thanks, I appreciate that. We're just having a chat, just anything. It's kind of an open forum here. Only two rules: no politics, no religion, and everything else, open board. Let's discuss. But anyways, this guy, had a salary of $250,000 a year, right? Which is good money. However, being based in the oh, my name's Joe, and being based in the San Francisco Bay Area, he actually lives in his van and takes a shower at and gets dressed at the gym every morning because on a salary of $250,000 a year, he can't get an apartment that's within a reasonable driving distance to work. I mean, yeah, he said he could get an apartment, but he'd be doing an 8-hour commute every day, and so he's like, I'm just gonna bank checks until I can't do it anymore. And I was just like, damn, that's hardcore. You know, I mean, 250 G's a year. I, I think somebody should be living like a fat rat. Be able to support their partner, to stay at home, raise the kids, have a nice new car, and two vacations a year. But for 250 G's in California, people are just barely stepping by, and that hurts my heart because, like I said, I've met so many great people in my travels, and especially in California. But yeah, my name is Joe. This is my channel. It is how does the government tax people? Well, there's income tax, and then there's sales tax, and then there's property tax. Basically, a third of what you make is going to go to the government. But it could be worse. I mean, I know when I lived in England, I got this really great job, and I was over the moon. And was they told me my salary was 600 pounds a week. Well, at the time, a pound was worth about 250, so $2.50. So I was over the moon. And then I get my first paycheck, and they took out 45% of that for whatchamacallit, my inland revenue, which is what they call the IRS over there, and then another 6% of my take home pay, and another 17% for like value added tax if I wanted to go and like get something special done, or like get a haircut, 17% VAT, bottle of wine, 17%. It was $15 for a gallon of gas, uh, $10 to $12 for a pack of cigarettes, a decent six-pack of beer. And we're talking like mid-level beer. I don't drink anymore. Proudly say I've been sober for over 20 years, but gets taken directly out of your salary. But if you end up making too much more, you're liable at the end of the year for more. Plus, you got to pay your property taxes, and you got to pay your taxes to register your car. There's taxes on fuel. Government's got their hands in pretty much anything. uh, Not quite sure how to handle that comment, but Kansas, I said I've been here for a while now. Lots of just really good dudes. I love the Midwest mentality. Everybody's friendly and fine. Like, here's an interesting comparison. Um, I was in Chicago, and I had a flat tire, and people just right by me, right, coming inches away from my fat ass as I was trying to change that tire. And I lived in Kansas for about 3 weeks, and I got a flat tire. Right hand of God, I kid you not. It took me, I don't know, less than 10 minutes to change the tire. A real man can change the tire in about 10 minutes, right? Four separate people stopped to see if I needed a hand. I was just like, that's cool. I made a good choice in coming here. I mean, every race, nothing to do with race, anything like that. Just everyone, people slow. Hey man, you good? You need a hand? I'm like, no, but I appreciate it. Thank you. And I was just thought that was really classy move. And I was like, okay, welcome to Kansas. Yeah, the land of the free is expensive, but you get what you give, if that makes sense. I don't mind paying taxes to, help some of the less fortunate, to, have better roads, schools, and stuff like that. Hi there, I kill egg. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Sorry if I'm getting too close to the screen. I wore the wrong glasses right now. Yes, I'm getting old. I have to wear bifocals. But hi there. Thanks for popping on. We're just having a kind of just a brief friendly live chat, just shooting the shiznit. Oh, we did a fun video yesterday. Check it. My son came over and we decided to see how many rubber bands it would take to blow up a fucking watermelon. 600. 600 rubber bands. And I got to admit, like, I don't know if you could see it on the camera. I got blisters on my hands from doing all those rubber bands. 669. Nice. But the explosion, if you go check out that video, was absolutely worth it. I mean, it was absolutely worth it. My wife was came home to visit on her lunch break because that's what she does, and she was standing like 20 feet away. The explosion got her 20 feet away. So naturally, my son and I are sitting like this with the watermelon right between us. We both got drenched, and it was awesome. But yeah, it takes 600 rubber bands to blow up a reasonable sized balloon. I'm sorry, it's reasonable sized watermelon. So now that that's happened, we were talking, we're going to have to try to find out what other types of fruits we could blow up with rubber bands. I think these type of things need to happen. We're always up to do fun stuff on the channel and, try new things. Oh, shit. Oh, hey guys. I've got a Skype I've got to get on. Hi, Jack Jimenez. How are you, sir? Sorry, I've just realized I've got a Skype I've got to get on for school in just a little bit. So I'm going to have to bounce. I will definitely be going live later. Love to everybody. See you guys soon. Check out that watermelon video. It was the last video I posted. It's a lot of fun. I hope everybody has a great day, wonderful night, and just nothing but peace and love and fun to everybody. You guys take care. Damn nice to meet you.